G'day guys and girls, and welcome to an On the Back Wheel video. Today I'm going to do a review on this bad boy. Our 2012, our being my wife and I, CBR250R. So, while we're at it, I'll show you my face. You may notice it's very swollen. I got my wisdom teeth out the other day, but it can't be avoided. I can't even get my helmet on properly. Today I just put it on first time. It was like, oh, it's just not happening. So I haven't ridden in a little while. But anyway, I digress. Back to the CBR250. Look, as you know, I'm riding this. It's my wife's bike. I said a couple of videos ago that I sold the Tuono because we're going to the States. That's still happening. On Boxing Day, we're leaving to go to the United States, live there for a couple of years. So this is getting sold as well. So I figured I better do a video on this as well, and a bit of a review. So otherwise I won't be able to because I'm selling it. So if anyone wants a CBR250, buy it. But yeah, honestly, it is a really good bike, and it's been a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. One, it's been a huge downgrade, like 20 horsepower versus 170 horsepower. Yeah, a bit of a downgrade, but honestly, it has been fantastic. The fuel economy is brilliant, and it's just been, for me, getting around to and from work, and this is an everyday bike. It's been really good. It's actually a lot better than the Tuono in that regard. I hate to say it, but it's better on fuel, and it's just easier to ride. It's absolutely doddle to ride. But yeah, I'll go with some features, not features, I should say. I'll go through the review, and if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll answer them as best as I can as well. Alright, we'll start with the engine. That's where the heart of every bike is. That's where everyone should start in reviews, let's be honest. This single cylinder, as everyone knows, 250 or 249 cc's, 4-stroke. It doesn't have much power, let's be honest. There's not much going on there. Not much power at all. It does the job. It's kind of torquey actually, but it runs out very quickly, and when you get to about, there's no point going past 9,000. After that, there's nothing going on. You're just hurting the bike really. But yeah, compared to some other little bikes, it's got a little bit of torque. I'll give it that. And it's certainly enough to get up a boogie through the city. For me, riding around, most of the stuff I do is, the highest speed zone I ride in most times 80, but let's say I'm running late and we're doing 120 or something, it's fine. It runs at a puff up top. I've got it up to about 145, and I reckon I get 150, 155, but that'd be it. I'll show you how it sounds. It's whisper quiet. So this is the stock exhaust, but I pulled out the snorkel. So it has got a little bit of throaty sound with that snorkel out. I don't know if it's made a difference. I thought it might make a little bit of difference in throttle response because it is so choked up, and it was like this tiny snorkel just chokes it up. So I thought that'd help, but it's hard to say. Maybe a tiny bit if anything, but not a lot. But yeah, torquey little engine, great for punching it through the city, and economical. It's so at the moment, let's turn this on. We've got a fuel gauge here. It's flashing. That means it's in the reserve kind of area, and I've done 250 k's. For about 300 k's, you're getting 10 litres of fuel. That's damn good going. That's like 3 litres per 100. It's fantastic. So it's good in that regard. You probably don't want to see my face at the moment because it actually hurts a bit. But we'll get through. We'll get through together, everyone. So yeah, throttle response fantastic. It's not snatchy at all. It's buttery smooth. No issues there whatsoever. Honestly, it could do with more power. Like I think the 300 They do this in a 300 now. That would be a much better size. This is just a bit underpowered. And gets a bit buzzy at about 120. Up to then, fine, surprisingly smooth. If you were to compare it back to back with a 500 or something, yes, it would be buzzy, but up to 120, it's honestly fine. All right, suspension. How do I describe the suspension? It's smooth. It's a little bit pogo-y at times, but for everyday riding, it's smooth, to be honest. There's no issues. I'm sitting at about 83 kilos at the moment, and it's not too soft. It's honestly not too soft. It's hard to make any complaints. Yes, pushing it could be better. Then it's, you know, that pogo-y boing a bit. But honestly, it's not too bad. For what it is, no complaints. It's definitely not harsh. At high speed, at hard hits, yes, it struggles. It struggles to cope and does like, fuck, I don't know what to do kind of thing. But besides that, no complaints with the suspension. In the mountains, it's okay. Like, you're not really going to find limits to the suspension in the riding you're going to do on this bike. I've done, you know, a couple of hour trips on it. It's been fine and comfortable. Soft, if anything, but comfortable overall. All right, the brakes. So, I'm going to be honest, the front lacks a bit of power. Single disc. I think it's a 2-pot Nissan cylinder. It lacks a bit of bite. And you really, when you're coming down from speed, this is where you notice it from something like my Tomono, which is a high-end bike, to this is brakes, man. Like, you have some moments where you think, am I gonna fucking stop? Am I gonna die? So sometimes you really gotta pull these up. Normal speed's great, up to 100, fine, but when you're starting to push it, you want to slow down quickly, that's when you wish they had a bit more, to be honest. Rear brake, here are my Japanese safety boots, everyone. Rear brake is fine, no issues there. Very predictable. Never lose, some rear brakes can lose, I can't think of the word. This never loses compression or whatever. I can't think of the word, but we'll get there. Everyone will help me out. It never fades, so it's good in that regard. And it's kind of fun to lock up in the rear corners, stuff like that, which is cool. It also does compression lockups when you're back down to second and first really easily, which is cool. So that's a bit of fun. Just a bit squirrely on the brakes. But yeah, brakes, I wish the front had a bit more, to be honest. That could be fixed probably with some better pads. I don't know what pads are in these. I've never checked. I guess they'd just be stock pads. I have cleaned them out a couple of times because every now and again they get a bit sticky. So you get to here, then it goes ugh, and kind of nothing happens, and they clunk on. So I've had to clean them out a couple of times. The pistons. So that can be a bit of an issue with them, and I would look out for that. The seat is good. I like the seat. It's comfortable. Especially coming from the Tomono, man, this is like a dream. It's a bit dirty. Sorry, milk came out of my bag the other day when I was riding home from work. I haven't wiped it off. But yeah, it's comfortable. Over time, it can compress a bit too much, so you're sitting down on the plastic a bit. But overall, I really like the seat. It's comfortable, no issues. The seating position too is good. Kind of a mix between a naked bike and a super sport, like a 600 or 1,000 litre bike. Kind of a mix between that, where the bars, straighten them up, are reasonably upright. You can see the bar to seat height there. It's kind of neutral. So I rode for a couple of hours one day, was not sore at all, no issues. And the same, it's quite spacious. Like, I'm just 6 foot, or like 183 in Aussie terms, and I don't find myself cramped at all. Like, it's fine. It really is fine. So no issues there. So a very comfortable bike to ride. And it's not big, but it's not like, you know, like an RS125 or something where they're bunched up and you're crouched down and small. So it's not like that. If you're someone like who's normal size or a bit bigger like me, you will fit it fine. So, and another thing is, like, my wife is like 158 and she can touch the ground on it and finds it comfortable as well. So that's another thing to consider. If you're short, it'll suit you. If you're tall, it'll suit you. They've done a really good job with the ergos. All right, another big thing I'm going to add into bike reviews is fun factor. Like, it's just actually fun to ride. Yes, it is fun to ride. I've been having a fun time riding this. I've been riding it for like 6 months now, and I've been having a blast riding it. If you were to put a good set of tyres on it, these ones are shite. They just came on it. I'm running them into the ground because we're selling it. I think it's got like a half-baked sports touring tyre on the back. I don't know what it is. It's very flat profile. If I was to just be riding with mates in the mountains, put a set of sporty tyres on it and some better brake pads, it would be fantastic. And I'd have an absolute ball riding through the hills in it. And I think it'd keep up fine, except when they really want to have a play. But you're not going to get that thrill from power out of this. Let's be honest, it's a 254 stroke that's lowly strung. It's not going to, you know, put your eyes into the back of your sockets. But you'll be able to hammer through the corners. It's got a good chassis. Suspension will hold up to a point. And you'll be able to have an absolute blast on it. Who will it suit? Look, I come from riding on the track and thrashing thousands on the streets, and I still had a blast from it. But ultimately, would I buy this if it was going to be my only bike? Probably not, no. Let's be honest, no. I might get the CRF250L, which has the same motor, because that would give me the off-road capabilities as well to go with it. Who would this suit? Someone who's commuting. You couldn't get a much better commuter bike. It's cheap to run, cheap on parts. Everything is so cheap to replace. It's easy on tires. It's easy on fuel. You know, it's perfect in that regard. And you two up someone easily if you're just putting around town. And shite loads of Uber riders have got these. I've seen heaps of people I'm selling it, and that's like half the people have been getting them. His name is Juan and Sebastian and Svetlana, looking to deliver food on these things. They're just so cheap to run. But the issue you might have is, yes, they're cheap, but a couple of people at work have got the 500 versions, and they get as good or better fuel economy, and they get a bit more poke. So I'd honestly get one of those over one of these. The purchase price may be a bit of you may balk at a bit more because these are just so cheap. Like for $2,000 you can get a good one of these. But yeah, overall, this is a really good bike. Things I would improve: the brakes. The front brakes need a bit more power. They're just lacking a bit power wise, which is a bit. It's fine until you start to push it, then you realise, oh shit, these are actually not very good. So get some better brake pads, something like that, and some braided lines. The rear, I just leave how they are, they're fine. It's down on power, but you can still have a blast, and you can still get ahead of traffic easy. One thing I will say, and I didn't mention in the gearing, this has just got the stock gearing on it. I know people are saying that they shorten the gearing on these to give it more punch. Don't do that. It's a 250, you're not going to get more punch for one, and first gear is so short on these already. It's like trail bike short, pretty much. Like I wouldn't change the gearing at all if I had a CRF250L. You just leave it like this, because you'd have that short. Because what happens is, say I'll try and not laugh because my face is so puffed up. Let's say you're taking off to go around a corner. The first gear is so short that you to go around the corner, you find yourself almost, having to change in the second gear a lot of time, halfway through the corner, which you don't want to be doing. So it's on the limit now with the gearing stock. If you just shorten it any more, it's going to be even shorter, which is just a pain now. So you're going and going, you're like, oh shit, I'm screaming the tits out of it and I'm halfway through the corner and you got to change gears. No, just leave it stock. Even then, at 100 Ks, it's sitting at about 6,000 from memory. About 6,000 RPM in top gear. So any shorter than that, you're having the piss out of it. Plus, it kind of doesn't make a lot of power. Then there's a bit of a jump at about 4.5, 5. So you're kind of in the peak of the power there already. So I wouldn't change that too much, to be honest. The gearing is fine. It's perfect as it is. First gear is a little bit short, if anything. I find myself putting around in like in fifth gear at 60 to 70 Ks an hour. Fifth out of six gears. So it's really good in that regard. 80, I'm in top gear. Every now and again, I will be looking for another gear when I'm at sixth, especially when I was in 110 zone. I was looking for another gear pretty much. So don't change gearing. Oh, one thing I will mention: the lights are absolutely fantastic. Coming from a bike with terrible lights, nearly all my bikes in the past have bad lights. This thing burns down the road, especially the high beam. It is fantastic. So I don't know what all the other manufacturers are doing, because this is a cheap ass bike and it has this light that just burns down the road. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, one thing that is annoying as well, while I'm on the topic: fuel tank, or fuel filler I should say. It's shit. So this here, you can see I'm touching it, I'm sure we can see it there. It's a metal bar. So when you go to you put the nozzle in, you squeeze it, you fill it up. You have to go very slowly because I've got this stupid fucking metal bar right here. And then on the sides, you can't really get it around there either, so it spouts out easily. So it's got this small, like 12-litre tank, but you sit there for 10 minutes filling the bastard up. So I'd try and knock it out if I could, but it's just too much of a pain. You just spend an extra couple of minutes at the Bowser instead. So that's one thing I don't like, and I don't think you can really change without a lot of, way too much effort, let's just say that, because I have taken the fuel tank off to clean out the filter once before, and it's a pain having to get all the fairing off and all the clips. Then underneath here there's clips and everything as well. It's a pain to get to, let alone having to do it, grind that out, or however you do that, and it just wouldn't be worth it, to be honest. This is kind of nice how this clips in though. So push down, done, all done. So those are the major bugbears: brakes, fuel filler, gearing's a bit short, down on power. But overall, really good bike. Well, let's say I give it an out of 10 rating. How many on the back wheel bloody wheelies, or I don't know what my rating. I don't really give ratings. Is it I'll do my normal rating for gears. A buy, wait for a sale, don't bother. I wouldn't buy a new one. I did buy a second-hand one. They're a really good second-hand buy, so it's a wait for a sale for me. Good bike, very good bike, but the Ninja 400 is a better bike. It's got more power now. I would get that. If I was getting this size bike or an everyday bike and I only had one, I'd get the Ninja 400. It's got heaps more grunt. It's got like twice the power. It's a better bike. This is a really, really good second-hand bike though. Definitely, if you're thinking of getting one, yes, definitely recommend getting one and doing those little mod tests. So, alright, I could ramble on for hours. I've probably been repeating myself a bit here. But yeah, as usual, it's been a long time since I've done a video. Life has been, let's just say, interesting, to say the least. We're moving to the US in a couple of weeks. I want to do heaps of videos there because I'm gonna have months off. But one, won't have a bike. Two, won't be set up, so that's gonna take time and everything. But the wheels are in motion. There's light at the end of the tunnel, so things are looking all right in that regard. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, keep an eye out and everything as usual, and I'll catch you next time. See you guys.